I did want to talk about a couple things that I've been watching though that I do want people to know that I finally watch. For
Hmm.
anyone who's like a big film person, there's a movie called In the Mood for Love, which came out in 2000. It's a Chinese film. It's beautiful. It's a beautifully shot film. I'd recommend it to people who really want to study or just like open their eyes to like a new culture of film, because it's like watching the French New Wave, but watching this movie was so good. It's on HBO. I would suggest watching it. It's not super long, but it takes a little time to
I
get
was gonna
into.
say because I wanted to watch Drive My Car, but that movie was like almost 3 hours long.
Yeah, I almost want I like because I've been trying to like treat myself to like historical movies and like movies that are like iconic or movies that are considered like must watches for people who want to do movies and stuff, and that's one of them. And In the Mood for Love is like a must see. I don't know if it was a cult classic or, but it's had a huge following when it first came out in 2000. So I watched that one. Beautiful film. I gave it 4.5 stars out of 5.
Nice.
um so I'd recommend that to people. And I also watched what was the other one? Oh, 2000, I think 4 or 5's Pride
Pride
and
and
Prejudice.
Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice
Ooh,
with Keira Knightley.
we
And
just
that,
mashed our words.
dude, oh man, that, but honestly, that movie, I told Justin that when sometimes you watch a movie and you kind of like change a little bit. You're like, that's how I felt when I first watched Garden State. That's how I felt when I first watched like, I don't know, like a lot of movies
There's
like it
something
took like,
about those movies that you watch, like,
yeah,
because like something like Garden State, like you just said, that's actually an amazing example.
yeah,
It's like there's something about a movie that you watch when you're a certain age and
yeah,
like you like understand it. Like Garden State when we were kids is like we
yeah,
understand this movie, even though we
yeah.
didn't really
We were like
understand it.
teenagers. Yeah.
Yeah, but like that movie, like the way that Zach Braff wrote it
He had this sense of
was like
like
we
angst.
understand it. But you
Yeah.
watching Pride and Prejudice and being like, okay, no, I get no. I mean, I'm not even saying this as an insult. It's
No.
like that's I feel that way with like there's certain movies that I'll watch and I'll be like, God damn, like High
Like
Fidelity.
like
I watched
there's,
High
yeah,
Fidelity
yeah, yeah.
recently.
When you like watch a movie, especially in our age too now, of like an older movie, and like you love it, you're like, why didn't
Yeah,
I watch this movie then, or what took
yeah,
so long? That's like I felt like I was missing out, even though I
yeah.
just experienced it. I'm like, why didn't anyone tell me to watch this sooner?
Did you
Because it's
feel like when you watched Pride and Prejudice, where it was like you felt like it was more modern or something like that?
not
Like
modern.
it felt like it was more like with you like right now.
Uh,
I don't know how to exactly express the question.
I kind of. I mean, a little. I mean, maybe I feel like if I saw it when I was younger, I wouldn't have appreciated it as much as I do now.
Uh-huh.
And I'm kind of glad that I watched it now because I can really appreciate the little things about it. Because I told you that there's so many shots in the movie that I would literally frame in a painting, or like frame in a frame, put in a frame and put on my wall. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's countless shots like that in the movie. The acting is a 10 out of 10. The writing is incredible. Like you said,
And
Emma Thompson wrote
Emma Thompson wrote the
Emma
script.
Thompson wrote the script. Who She's not even in it. She just did one of the some of the rewrites, and it's
Who starred in
beautiful.
it again?
It's Keira Knightley, a guy named Matthew McFadden, who's also in the show I watched, Succession, which just ended too. And it's crazy that I didn't like, they are completely different characters because everyone in Succession is really despicable. But
Mhm.
Matthew McFadden's character
Is
plays
that
Mr.
why you
Darcy. No, I
mentioned the
forgot that
movie?
he was in it. I forgot that he was in that. I watched it because it was recommended to me by Alyssa. Actually, we were talking
Oh,
about it,
nice.
and she was like, I forgot how it came up, and she like
Shout out to
yelled at,
Alyssa.
yeah, shout out to Alyssa because she told me, she like yelled at me when she found out I had never seen it. And I was like, okay, okay, sorry, because it's like one of her comfort movies. I was like, I'll watch it. And I did watch it, and it's beautiful. It's incredible. And I like texted my sister afterward because it's one of her favorite movies. And I just like I almost apologized to my sister because I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't watch this sooner. And that's just how I felt about that movie. The acting, the costume design, the story. Now I'm reading the book because I like the movie so
Mm.
much. I'm like, the story is so entertaining, and uh I thought it was
I
just
love
an
it. You
awesome
want me
movie.
to? I mean, like like I said, like I feel like I've probably watched it, but I
Right.
don't know.
Yeah, you might have seen a version of it because there's also a '90s version with Colin Firth in it, which is pretty historic too. But it's just an
You want to
old
say
classic
me and
story.
Colin Firth, we don't really get along with each other anymore.
All right, I remember you guys had that one thing from that one time.
We had that one
Sorry to bring it up.
thing. We don't want to talk about me and Colin Firth anymore. But no, like it's just like movies like that where it's like I like it just like makes you feel like that. It just makes you feel like it's like a studio movie, but it's like
Right.
it gets you in your feels, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's an awesome feeling.
It is, and that's how I felt when I watched Pride and Prejudice, especially because there's this one scene where the two main characters touch hands for like a moment, and then there's a shot of the man's hand, and he's just like tense, and it's just like that is directing, and that's like that throughout the entire movie. They have the little details of
Uh-huh.
intimacy. They just expand on it so much, and I'm like, that is directing, and that's
Yeah,
just how I felt the whole movie. So there's
that's
that. There's
awesome.
those two movies that I really loved, and then also Blackberry. I want to recommend to people with Glenn Howerton by Matt Johnson. Is that who it is? Blackberry.
Yeah, Matt Johnson.
I
Yeah,
will
Matt
recommend that movie to
Yeah,
everybody.
no,
It's
Blackberry, Matt,
way up there.
Glenn Howerton. I still haven't
Jay
seen it.
Baruchel. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Elijah
It's
saw
up
it, and
there with
Jay
Social
Baruchel.
Network. It's up there with
Hmm.
Social Network in quality and story, and it's
Oh wait,
exhilarating.
what'd you say before? It was like Social
A
Network
Social
meets
Network meets Silicon Valley, the comedy,
Silicon
because there's a
Valley.
lot
Yeah,
of comedy in it, but it's so
yeah,
serious and going. So that's highly
yeah.
recommended to people to watch.
Because
I'd recommend it.
BlackBerry is a story of
The rise and fall of a company. Yeah,
yeah, rise and fall of a company, but it's also like I just want to like
yeah,
it's a movie called BlackBerry.
yeah. About the creation of the BlackBerry phone,
Yeah.
uh, which was actually a big part of my childhood, and I didn't know about that
Yeah, no, seriously, right? That's what I
because
was gonna say to you before too.
they mentioned a phone called BlackBerry Bold, and I was like, holy crap! I remember
Yeah.
wanting the BlackBerry Bold, and I was like,
My brother had a BlackBerry
yeah, I remember
for
always
like
wanting
two
the
months.
BlackBerry. Yeah, I would recommend that movie to people.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna watch that. I'm probably gonna watch that movie tonight.
It's awesome. And then
Yeah.
the last movie that I wanted to talk about with Justin, which we already talked about in our last session, which would never be seen, was I
Don't you
saw I
do
saw
those eyes.
I saw.
Just say it.
I know. I can't. I'll stop saying that. But I saw Across the Spider Verse as well, and my spoiler-free review to Justin was that I liked it just as much as the first one, not any more, not any less, and it's just as beautiful. And if you like the first one, you'll like or love the second one even more because it's go from the get go, and I'm very excited for Beyond the Spider Verse from that.
That's another movie that I hope that we do a review for because I'm gonna go see that movie.
We
So I
definitely
usually
will.
don't go to. I mean, like I go to the movie theaters, like,
Right.
but I mean, like I want to see across the
Oh
spider
yeah, yeah. That's another thing
across the
I
Spider
told
Verse,
you
right?
is yeah, across it demands to be seen on a big screen because of
Mhm.
how much detail there is. And
But when Elijah texted me, because I asked him, because he sent me a picture of him holding a poster, and
oh
he's
yeah,
like,
I got a
"Oh
free
God,
poster.
yeah, I got a free poster," and I was like, "Did you see it?" And the first thing he said was like, "Overstimulated." Or
My
no,
mind, yeah,
what did I
my
ask you?
brain is
I was like,
overstimulated.
"How was it?" And you're like, "Overstimulated."
My brain is overstimulated,
Yeah.
and it is. So, but it's good. I gave it four out of 5 stars, and I gave the first one 4.5 out of 5. So
Yeah.
that's because the first one took me off guard, and then I kind of went in the second one knowing what to expect, and it just
Hmm.
gave me more of what I wanted, you know. So it's like,
And the second one is like what, like 2.5 hours now?
yeah, I think it's the longest animated movie in history right now.
I believe it.
And it's good. It's good. I
And
can
you
see it.
want to,
I'm
I'll
glad it
take
got delayed. I'm glad it got delayed because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. But yeah, so that's what we've been watching.